Hi guys, hope we're all really well. Sorry it's been a wee while. It's this time of year when my folks usually appear for 4 weeks and come and stay with me. So I've been busy with them, and then they just managed to get back before all the craziness happened. So yeah, that was lucky. Hope everyone's well. Hope you're all looking after yourselves and keeping in touch with each other, and just doing what you can in what is a pretty daunting and tough time for a lot of people. And obviously hearts and minds go out to those that are really struggling with some very difficult stuff to deal with, that are in the thick of it. Yeah, just look after each other and stay in contact. Hey, so we've got the rocket Redux here. This one actually popped up secondhand, so I'd sort of been considering one at the back end of last year, but I ended up ordering a Hydra, which is on its way eventually, but that's going to be on hold for a wee while with the situation at the minute. So yeah, I saw this pop up secondhand. Downside was it was just the thruster, but the length and volume and everything was pretty good. So and it's like, when it's secondhand, it was mint as well, and it's like a third off what you'd be paying for one new. So this one is 6'1", 21 and a quarter and 2.75, 2 3/4, and it's 39.25 litres, so it's basically a stock wide in the dimensions. And yeah, so the history of the rocket for people, the very first rockets were kind of like back along the lines of the 5.5 Redux that Lost did, the video, which has just been online recently, which is probably one of the best videos like ever for surfing. It's definitely a piece of surfing history. Yeah, the rocket was kind of designed as like a step down, as the start of this shorter, wider revolution, but more for the pros. So it kind of had like a really aggressive tail rocker in it, and the widths of boards back then still weren't really that wide. So all that tail rocker, I've never had one myself, but all that tail rocker, if you can't use it, it's actually it's probably losing you some speed off what you could have. So this seems to be a really nice retake of what they've learned from a lot of the rockets in the past. So I did have a V2 rocket. The V2 rocket I had in the Firewire. That was quite a nice board. I think it tended to need a waist to chest high wave to get it going, but once it got up to shoulder to head height, it just didn't seem to like it as much. So yeah, that was a nice board, but it sort of had it had a real niche, so it was kind of like a board that you couldn't just take out no matter what the conditions were. And then the V3 rocket is obviously a lot pointier and a lot sharper, and people generally seem to love that, but I think that would need for here, it would probably need a shoulder to overhead wave to get it going. This one seems really good. So yeah, as I say, the width has come up. The rocker's still really nice. It's got quite a low nose entry rocker. It carries quite a bit of volume and thickness through this nose area, and it's still quite thin in the tail, but the outline shape is relatively wide with a relatively wide tail. And this little the good old Lost rocket tail keeps a straight bit of rail going through the back. And one thing I was really surprised at, this is only a thruster, and I'm used to riding quads, and it actually felt like it had the speed and carry of more similar to a quad, but it was linking turns and smooth like a thruster. So yeah, I was quite pleased, to be honest. Haven't had it out on anything particularly big, but it goes well in a small wave. It goes well in a clean or a junky wave, and it goes well in a wave up to head high, no problem. And the way it feels, I suspect it's probably a waist to overhead board for if you've got a fairly mellow wave. Obviously, rippers would be riding this in maybe like a 5.8 or something, 5.6 for the guys who are really good, and then the normal people like me just chuck it up to your volume that you're comfortable with. So yeah, quite impressed. It's I think this one is glassed in a 2.4s on the top and a 4. I can't remember, but it's the lighter glass job anyway. I can't remember exactly what Tommy does, but it's the same. I think it's the same glass job as my Uber XL that I really like. And compared to the Uber XL, it's got a little bit more nose, a little bit more thickness in the nose. Probably would have a fuller rail per volume. And it's a really good paddler. This is nearly the same volume as my Uber XL, and that actually paddles well, but the Uber XL's got a little bit more of a pulled-in tail, so this is a little bit faster, which is supposed to be because it's a rocket. So yeah, no, very, very impressed so far. Really enjoyable board to ride, paddles well, feels nice, smooth in turns. It's got quite a nice long hard rail edge at the back, and it fins out nicely in the tail, but it keeps good surface area. So this would really be this is sort of, could almost be a one board quiver for people who are riding you know, maybe like waist to just over head high waves, which is really good. So it's like, it's something you're not going to really grovel on. It's not like down at the beanbag or the Hydra sort of end of the scale, but it's a really good one board quiver if you're not riding large waves, or it'd be good if you had a groveler, one of these, and then something for when it's overhead high. Yeah, that's about it. I think I've been riding this with the Matt Biolis large fins, which I've started getting into as a thruster and I really like, and I've also ridden it with the Almeric thrusters in a large as well, FCS2 obviously, and yeah, they both go really well, so doesn't seem too fussy about fins, and basically I probably won't even bother filming the Concave because it's pretty normal. It's a pretty normal Matt Biolis. It's like there's a pretty long, most of it you can see that the Concave basically runs nose to tail, and it's almost a single all the way through basically. So as I say, I think the intention is to keep that the stringer line stays flat, and the rocker line of the actual rail rocker line can curve a bit more. So I think that's what gives it quite a bit of its speed. Sometimes full length single concaves can only work in they like to work in cleaner ways, but this seems all right, and it certainly must flatten that stringer rocker right out, because it's quite a nice quick board with a good speed carry, which is hard to achieve here because it's like you say, we have some really small waves that are almost mile waves really. So yeah, that is the Rocket Redux. Thanks for watching, and do have some more stuff coming up hopefully. Like I say, the Hydra is on order, so I'm quite looking forward to that. And then obviously I've been dedicating a bit more of my time to actually shaping my own boards. So thanks for watching those reviews, the guys that do. I know it's probably not as interesting as the mainstream stuff, and it's not going to get as many views, but it's really been cool creating my own boards, and I've done a few different things, and a few like basically there's a few shapes that I've not seen anything that's similar to, which is kind of nice. I've got another 2 of those coming up, and the 710 I just did recently, which came out really nice. I'm quite excited because a local guy called Mark Waddleton is actually doing some art on that, so I'm really excited about that because he's a very talented guy that I met through a friend, and yeah, he's doing some airbrush work on that, and then I'll be glassing it. So yeah, I'll put a link probably in the video or somewhere so people can go and check out his stuff, and you might get a wee preview of what's coming up. But it's Mark Waddleton, Waddelton, I'm pretty sure it is, but I'll put a link down there. So he's trying to get his artwork out there, so he'll probably be keen to see people appear on his Instagram and check stuff out. You can see some boards he's already done for my friend Sam at Banana Surfboards, who I shape with, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to say the least. So he's a really talented guy. He actually makes little bits of toys and all sorts. He does some really cool stuff, so yeah, looking forward to that. Okay guys, so cheers, thanks for watching, look after yourselves, and we'll see you soon.